Hello there guys, welcome back to Younes Talks Football, welcome back to a brand new video. I hope all of you are doing well today. This is your match preview for Manchester City versus Chelsea. This game could not have come at a worse time. It really couldn't, Despite the fact that I think both teams are going to rotate. I think both teams are going to have a couple of youngsters ready to be deployed or maybe even start them. I think even for Manchester City, that is the case. If I'm not mistaken, Pep Guardiola did play one or two young lads in their final Champions League game. If I'm not mistaken, one of them got a goal, I think. I haven't checked. That's literally just popped into my mind whilst recording, and I think that's the case. But they have youngsters available. We have youngsters available. But this game overall is not a good time at the moment for Chelsea in order to play Man City, because we've just come off the back of 4 Premier League games where we've not won one yet. We dropped points to Brentford, we dropped points to United, we got smashed by Brighton, we got embarrassed by Arsenal, and now we got to play Man City at the Etihad. And then we got Newcastle on the weekend at St James's Park, who have been absolutely flying, beat Southampton 4-1, and got Ralph Hasenhüttl sacked. So it's looking a little bit sticky for Chelsea at the moment. But there's a few things that I want to cover before we even get into the match preview itself, because it's important. This game against Man City, despite the fact that I know maybe youngsters are going to be played, rotation's going to happen right now, the camp, the way it feels with this squad, with the way that we're playing, it's going to be one hell of an ask to go to the Etihad and get a win. You know, best case scenario, it's 0-0 and then maybe go to penalties and, you know, we have some sort of luck on our side and we win a penalty shootout. You never know, but Manchester City right now are Manchester City. And they can afford to go to some of the lads that they think are going to do a job for them, especially the ones that are not travelling to the World Cup. Example, Erling Haaland. Example, Riyad Mahrez. That stings for me to say personally, but, you know, because I wish he was going, because then I'd have more vested interest in the World Cup. But there are players there that are not going, that I feel like can be used in a tie like this just to get the win against a team like Chelsea, because Man City are going to be respecting Chelsea. Chelsea, though, right now with the form, the feel, and there are some issues, and we've spoken about them in yesterday's video. Make sure you check that out if you haven't already, where I go into in-depth detail of how I think it all needs to be analysed with the players, the manager, the way that Chelsea are functioning, what needs to be done going forward, the way that we play, what are we trying to do, what identity do we have, the attitude, the mentality, all those things right now at Chelsea are up in the air. And there's some news from earlier on that I want to bring to you first, which is just, it absolutely cements why I told you in yesterday's video, and not just that, but even during Thomas Tuchel, and even before that, even Lampard, whenever performances dip so bad, there are things happening behind the scenes. I can't stress it enough. You cannot have a well-functioning dressing room and harmony across the group and play rubbish. Doesn't exist. Not at this level. Not at this level. At the highest level, nah. Because to get to the highest level, you need to be good. Yeah, you need to have some sort of substance to you as a player. So even on a bad day, there should be enough quality for you to get a decent job done, right? If the players are happy, if everyone's happy, if the manager's happy, if everyone understands, if everyone's on the same page, if there's harmony, if there's a nice buzz, if it's positive, if it's all looking good, they're all going to play well. And even if one guy has a bad day, it's not going to affect the whole team. Everyone's still going to play well. Everyone's there for each other. You don't get bad performances like what we've been seeing at Chelsea. As a result of bad performances like this, it means that there are things happening behind the scenes. There is reasoning as to why this squad is performing as badly as it is. And you look to the manager as well, but we've already spoken about Potter. He's still new. And despite that, he's even making some errors that we've all called out. So I want to show you something that came out from earlier on from Simon Phillips, who has been very well connected and has said this. Check this out. This is from a top source. A lot of the players are just unsettled at Chelsea. Some are unhappy with life in London and at the club in general. Some want out immediately, which we already know. I think an example of that would be someone like Hakim Ziyech. You can maybe throw Pulisic in there, I'm guessing. There are lads there that we know don't want to be here. Anyway, so there is that. And going on, Some of the older players who've been here a while are frustrated of staff constantly changing. Half the squad don't even really engage together, and it feels like some of them are strangers to each other. Further sources have told me that both Mateo Kovacic and Edouard Mendy are two players seriously considering their futures, but there are more. Time to rebuild. How do you want to get performances with this? You can't. So now, this story has simplified everything that I said yesterday. We got two choices. We get rid of anyone that doesn't want to be him, including Mateo Kovacic, who I would happily keep, as far as all the midfielders that we have. Kovacic is probably the first one on the list. I'd normally put Kante, but we've already spoken about Kante and his injuries and all of that. We know that with Kante, it's not exactly going to last much longer, so we understand. But of course, it would be Kante first. But in terms of performance and who's actually been doing something decent in midfield, Kovacic. But even if he does not want to be here, and if there's a rift between him and Potter, or there's something going on and Potter's not really confident with playing him, like we've been seeing lately, maybe it's down to injury, as Potter has said. Maybe that's a smokescreen for this. Who knows? But if that's the case, we have two options, as I've said. We let go of these players that all want to go, buy, and then we turn to Potter and we tell him, look, who do you want? Who do you think we should get? Get the recruitment team in. All right, who are we going for to make Potter's Chelsea work? Or we change manager. One of them. Has to be one of them. Someone that is going to be accepted, or someone that's going to come in and know exactly what to do with these bunch of players that are unhappy, or we get rid of these players and we stick with this manager and try and back him in terms of what he actually is trying to do. Although my concern right now, as I've already said, is we don't really understand what Potter is trying to do yet. It's still not clear. So I don't know. But we got to pick one. If there's this many players, what concerned me, what was really worrying, and shout out to Simon Phillips for going into the detail, right? But the fact that he said that half the squad don't really engage together, and it feels like some of them are strangers to each other. I can't stress how bad or how detrimental that is to a squad. You can't get worse than that. If you've got players in a squad that do not communicate with each other, you've not got a team. You've not got one. So now I'm not expecting much. You see, now with this, if this is what's going on in the camp, I'm not expecting much. You need to have players that are happy, that are there together, that are ready to work alongside each other, and that are ready to move forward, despite change in managers. This is the point that I made, especially in yesterday's video as well, when I was talking about the old guard. When you're talking about Didier and JT and Lamps and Cech and Ashley Cole and all them lot, they all still got along. They were all still together, despite new managers coming in. They all stuck with each other. They all stuck together. No matter who was the gaffer, they were always playing together, and they were all close, and they were all ready to do whatever it took for each other. We had that block. We don't have a block. And on top of that, we've got some players that right now just do not have quality. So this is really frustrating. Really, really frustrating. And it leads me on to this, Manchester City, Chelsea, because Man City are a group. Man City are a team that have a very, very nice squad, that are together, that are doing good things, that are doing top things, that have a top manager. It's Pep Guardiola, let's be honest. And there's no doubt about what they're trying to do. So what would I do for tomorrow, if we're having to put that into context now? Bearing in mind our injury news, and we all know our injury news right now. I mean, apparently even Jorginho is a doubt because of a knock that he's picked up on his foot. So there's that. Koulibaly looks like he's available. Kepa is still out there. He's not going to be playing. All the other normal suspects, Fofana, Kante, Reece James, etc., Chilwell, all out. We know that. The rest are all available. So bearing that in mind, I honestly think tomorrow is a chance against the best to try something new. I'm not going out on a limb to try and win the League Cup. I could care less about the League Cup right now. We've got bigger problems. Bigger problems such as trying to get top 4, trying to get as far as we can in the Champions League. We do not have a squad that is capable of trying to do all of that, plus an FA Cup run, and think about trying to win the League Cup whilst half the squad are playing the World Cup. Forget it. Forget it. If we had the quality and we had the squad and we had the gaffer all on the same page doing the same thing and everything is looking clear and we're getting results, then yes, we can talk about the League Cup. But tomorrow is an opportunity to try and scout some new talent that can come into this team and help change us, help do wonders. That way Graham Potter has some sort of a solution here. So what would I do? Let's get into the starting 11 and what I would deploy tomorrow against a Man City team where I'm expecting some rotation but not too much. Let's get into it. So starting off in goal, it's gonna be Edouard Mendy. I'd be shocked if it was a team with less quality or less ability. I think we might play Bettinelli, but I think Mendy's gonna get the nod tomorrow, so we'll go Edouard Mendy. I'd go to a back four. I'd go to a back four mainly because of what I'm doing in attack, right? Screw the back three. We saw against Arsenal. If you're not even trying to provide yourselves with an attacking option, then what's the point of even showing up? You know, this is the thing. Unless you want to play defensive football or you want to play counter-attacking football, which right now we don't even have the tools for either. You know, this is where I'm talking about identity. Before we go with the back four, the identity is key. Even if it means that you want to play defensive. Or we're going to sit back and try and hit the counter-attack because we've got this player, we've got that player. I want to play this way, that way. Get that player running in that direction. Try and get a ball in between that line. This, that and the other. To play a certain style of football, even if it's defensive, even if it's counter-attacking, it's an identity. And I'll take it. Not a problem. Because there were times prior where we used to be really successful by playing counter-attacking football, sometimes defensive football, sometimes squeezing a 1-0 and making the opposition suffocate with pleasure. Yeah, we used to love it. So there's that. Or we try and play expansive, nice attacking, free-flowing football, and we try and do that, which right now we don't seem like we have the tools for either. So, look, we'll try and do something, right? This is what I'm going to go for. So, back four. I'm scared about this, but Aspie has to play because there's no one else. This is another problem, which I feel for Graham Potter here. There's two positions here where we've not got any other solution. We've not got it. Aspie is one, and Cucurella is another one. Chilwell's out. We have anyone else that can play left back. There is one player, and I know a lot of you are screaming it at the screen right now, but don't worry, I've got that player covered, and he's not playing left back. So, let's move. Unfortunately, these are the two. Aspie, legs looking gone. Cucurella does not look like the guy we bought from Brighton. So, I don't know what to expect from Cucurella. Against Arsenal, he was atrocious. Absolutely atrocious. And the fault for the goal, he had a big part of responsibility to play on that, whilst he was hugging the player and just abandoned the football. Not seen it in my lifetime. Can't believe he did that. But anyway, again, we ain't got anyone else. In centre-back, I would go Koulibaly and I would go Chalobah. Thiago Silva is someone that I would love to play, but he played against Arsenal. If he plays tomorrow, he's got to play Newcastle. He has to play Newcastle. He needs a rest. Give him one rest, let him play Newcastle, because I'm more bothered about that game than I am with this. So look, Chalobah and Koulibaly for me are the two that I would turn to in defence tomorrow. Now, if we move forward, this is where I change everything. Everything changes. Everything changes, right? I'm going to start giving chances to footballers in this team that I believe deserve some sort of a chance, right? So I would go Zachariah DM. I don't care. That's it. Forget Loftus-Cheek. Jorginho's out. Kante's out. Screw it. We got a DM, use him. Zachariah had a great game against Dynamo Zagreb. He plays in the DM role. He showed enough then. I'm giving him a chance here. I'm not sticking with anything else, and it doesn't even look like we have anything else. And if anyone even wants to say Loftus-Cheek, hell no. Hell no. Based on the performance, what we saw against Arsenal and prior, no. Zachariah deserves an opportunity. He plays in DM. So there's that. I would go Lewis Hall and Mateo Kovacic. So Lewis Hall and Kovacic as the two midfielders in front of Zachariah. Lewis Hall was being called up alongside one other youngster to the squad for tomorrow's game. He wasn't involved in Chelsea's under-21 3-0 win against Tottenham. Shout out to John Terry for that because he was coaching there. And we smashed Tottenham to bits, so that was nice. You always like to hear that. That's one thing about Chelsea as well. The kids are doing brilliant. The women are doing fantastic. I can't even say anything bad about the women's team. Sam Kerr, Lauren James, Reece James' sister, banged goals against Manchester United, our old team. I mean, they're doing bits. Emma Hayes is not even there. She had surgery and they're still performing brilliantly. Shout out the women. The women are doing absolutely fantastic, and the women, you can see something that the men are missing. You can see an identity. You can see grit. You can see Everyone's there for each other. Everyone's going for it. Everyone's giving everything. Everyone's properly invested into the game and throwing themselves on the line for every single challenge, every single ball, every single pass, every single minute. They're moving. With us, can't see it. So, Lewis Hall, he's promoted. Play him 90 minutes. Couldn't care less. 90 minutes. Show me what you can do against Manchester City, mate. Because you might just have the solution. You might be one of it. So, that. And Kovacic, who I was shocked didn't play or didn't start against Arsenal. But then again, now, after reading what we've read today, I'm not so shocked. You know, Graham Potter speaking about his knee and says that, he's carrying a little injury, is not looking very certain, but he's definitely going to the World Cup, though. He's definitely going to be fine for the World Cup, not a problem. And then we start to hear that, you know, him and Mendy are considering their futures, and no surprise that he's, you know, available, fit, but not getting played. So there's that. For me, I'd play him tomorrow. Kovacic starts and he plays 90. The front three, Pulisic on the left. Sterling's not getting anywhere near this game. Hell no. Especially at the Etihad with the fans and all the City fans probably going to be on his case. No. Sterling's playing bad enough already. You throw the Man City fans on his head as well, and I think the ground will swallow him up. He wouldn't be able to do it. So Sterling doesn't come into this fixture. I'd leave him at home if I had the choice. Pulisic starts and he plays 90. On the right hand side, Amari Hutchinson is the second youngster that's called up to this squad. Amari Hutchinson starts this. For under 21 level, he's been doing brilliantly since he's come from Arsenal. He's been fantastic. Goals and assists galore. Does not stop. On the right hand side, box to box, in an attacking midfielder role, whatever you want, he does it. But right now, we need someone to play on the right. We haven't got anyone else that can play there except Sterling or Pulisic. So for me, he's going to have to fill in there. Because he can do it. He's efficient. He's quick. Chemistry with Lewis Hall. That's why I stuck Lewis Hall on the right-hand side of that midfield three rather than the left, and Kovacic can be on the left because Hall and Hutchinson will have some sort of an understanding. So there's that. And up front, I wasn't too impressed against Arsenal, but look, I'd give Broja 90 minutes. Just show me what you can do. You know? Broja has good things and he has bad things. The bad things we saw in the last two games where, you know, he gets the ball, doesn't really know what to do, runs into trouble. But then again, I also look to the options around him and he didn't really have much. So he's a sort of player that I think just goes for it. And when he loses the ball and he's just like, yeah, screw it. A couple of occasions against Arsenal we saw where he was on the ball, he's trying to take a man one-on-one and he got dispossessed very easily. Can't be doing that. But you know what? Look, mate, it's a learning curve. Play up front and show me what you can do for 90 minutes against Man City. I'd try everything new. Do you like this team? Let me know down below. But that is what I will do tomorrow. That is my starting 11. And going to a score prediction. I hate this bit now. I used to love doing score predictions. Start of the season, and I actually loved them. This, I'm going to be real. I don't think we're winning tomorrow. I don't think we're winning. I don't think it's going to be a battering. If we play this team, for example, I actually don't think it's going to be a battering. But Man City at home, they're going to be too much. They're going to be too much. And right now, the confidence in the camp is low. I'm not expecting too much. I'm going to go Man City 2, Chelsea 1. Honest prediction. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to come on there and be like, yeah, I think we're going to win 1-0. Like, no, I honestly think 2-1 Man City. And even if we do, not bothered. We focus on the league. We focus on the Champions League. We try and focus on the January window and see what we can do there. And then the FA Cup is a bigger competition to focus on if we do have a cup run. So that is my overall assessment on it. Let me know down below what you think. And I will see all of you tomorrow after it's all said and done in terms of Man City versus Chelsea. I'll give you my match review. So thank you all so much for watching. Make sure you hit the like button if you've enjoyed this. Hit the subscribe button if you are new. I'll see you tomorrow after it's all said and done. Have a good one, people. Enjoy the game. See you tomorrow. Take care and peace.